Let me start by talking about weaponization of EACC, or the alleged weaponization. In the short time that I've been in the Commission, I have been very keen, because from the outside that may be perception, very keen to find out how the Commission works. I have met personally with each and every member of staff in the Commission, except a few who are in the region. And I'm going around the regions. And I can tell you that sitting in the seat where I'm seated as chair and receiving the reports of the various cases that we have a team of young men and women, and I say young perhaps because I am old, but the majority of our staff are very young men and women of this country who believe in this country. And the work that they are doing is exemplary. So what comes out very clearly is that we do our work in a very objective manner. The cases that we deal with go through a lot of processes, and one of these days you would be privileged to come so that we can take you through the process that we follow before a case is forwarded to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. And it is a very rigorous process. We do our own internal audit on each of the cases. If you check very keenly, most of the cases that we forward to the ODPP rarely fail or are withdrawn or dropped. And this is because of the kind of work that is done. The apparent appearance of weaponization, if I take a case on point, like the recent case which I think has been referred to here, of one of the governors who was summoned to EACC offices for former governor, rather, in EACC for probing and investigation and interrogation. The party to which this former governor belongs came out in full force, alleging that this was politicization and weaponization of EACC. As we speak now, we have just concluded our investigations on this particular person. We have forwarded that file to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution for further action. We cannot do that unless there is evidence of wrongdoing. And we are going to follow this same method because we have a systematic way of doing things because of the low capacity that we have, both in terms of personnel and also in terms of finances. So we cannot pursue all the cases that we want to pursue, that which also answers the question of how long does it take. We have 11 regional offices across the country, covering 47 counties. I've just come from Isiolo this last week. They cover 5 counties, very vast. In order for these people to do the kind of task that they need to do, it requires a lot of resources, time, and so on. So this is why we are asking that our capacity be increased so that we can act as quickly as possible on the cases that come up. Thirdly, as I close and hand over to the CEO to answer some of the other questions, you'll find that our mandate, unlike what Honorable Mugeni raised in other jurisdictions, we are supposed to respond to all kinds of corruption cases and bribery cases. We receive thousands of reports from Kenyans who have witnessed incidences. This can range from a person, I have given this example before, immediately arrived in office, somebody sent an email because a chief had demanded 200 shillings from them. And they wanted EACC to act quickly. 2 weeks later, before we didn't reply, they sent a reminder. We have not seen any action taken on this chief who has taken 200 shillings. Now, 200 shillings for us is very small, but for this person to write, it is a very significant amount of money for them. On the other hand, we are dealing with cases where people have embezzled 8 billion shillings, some 50 billion shillings. So this is the scope that we have. It therefore requires that we focus, and we have focused our attention on high impact cases and on high impact individuals. That's why sometimes you do not see the quick responses to some of the incidences as we would expect from us as an office. But our mandate is very broad and very widespread. Let me allow CEO to answer the more specific questions.
Thank you. CEO.
Thank you, sir. I think first I would like to blow my own trumpet. I have served in this government as a public officer for 40 years. So I'm relatively a seasoned public officer. 40 years, this is somebody who is now aging, going to the next stage of physiology, every time attending to a doctor and all that. I want to talk about the integrity of our officers. It started with the chairman who has left, the Honorable Musyoka. My former colleague in the Kenya Corruption Commission, Honorable Omogeni, we were together, and I can tell you that most of those guys who people say are extorting as EACC officers are conmen. Most of them. And I can give an example. I will not mention names. One MP came furious to my office saying there is a senior officer in the regions who is taking money, and she wants to report. It was a lady MP, and she came with another MP who used to be a member of JLAC. Said, "Come to my office." They came. They gave the story, and I asked for the name of that person and the telephone number. So we went to the. Immediately, you with smartphone, you key in first name in the mailbox. There's no such a person. Immediately, I called the HR. Do you have such a staff? No. The MP was dealing with a conman. That is what is happening. They are very smart. They have business card. There is even one conman that we arrested, and he told us openly he is a professional conman. His children are in school, even university, and he's making good money. And even if we release him, he will go back to be a conman. And he said openly that he's a university graduate, desperate, looking for employment. He cannot get employment. So most of these guys purporting to be EACC officers are conmen. And we tell people, if somebody say that he's an EACC officer, check with us. Or normally we say, we write an official letter to you. And we tell you, so and so and so and so will come and see you, because we don't allow one officer to do investigation. If somebody says this person has taken bribe, it becomes difficult to confirm who is right and who is wrong. So our process is that investigation should be done by 2 people and above. The issue that was raised by Senator Omar on conviction, I'm surprised, because we don't convict. We take our files to the DPP, and the DPP is the one who prosecutes, and then there's conviction. So when the case is with the DPP, it is beyond our control, Senator Omar. We cannot determine the time, and it is out of this, I want to answer another question. Senator Omogeni asked us that we have not jailed or convicted senior people. We have 9 cases of governors before court, starting with Governor Sonko, Governor Obado. I think, if you look at the hierarchy, political hierarchy of this country, I'm not wrong, but if I'm wrong, I may be corrected. I think after the president and the deputy president, a governor is a very senior person, I think 3rd in the system. So when we have 9 governors we have charged, 21 governors we are investigating, and people are saying you are still not pursuing the right people, I think there's a problem. Secondly, some of the questions that you have raised here, I have seen they are laced with political sensationalism, connotation. And I cannot blame you, because I know you are politicians. But I have to answer you as an executive officer who I will never dwell into politics in my life. The issue being raised that we take sides. There was a change of government, and we saw which cases collapses. And I keep on telling everybody, show me one case from EACC that collapsed because it had a political so-called victimization. So also there was this question that we have 700 staff, we can cover the whole country. Those 700 staff include drivers, include secretaries, include HR people. We actually have about 230 investigators. And I'll give another example that the chairman has also mentioned. Let's take my Mombasa office. Mombasa office covers Kwale, Taita Taveta, Mombasa, and the port. We have only 5 investigators in Mombasa office. People bringing question of 500 bob, 100 bob, 1 million, all those cases. And we don't have the capacity, we prioritize. And we have talked about amendment of the law, that the law right now says that anybody reporting a corruption case, we must deal with it. And this is what the chairman was talking about. Mtu ameambiwa itete 200, anasema kesi yangu imefika wapi? Senator Mogeni said he went to the serious fraud office. I also went to the serious fraud office. And just for your information, you've talked about the South African Anti-Corruption Agency. They are now taking us to give them classes on asset recovery. Because in sub-Saharan Africa, they have established that if there's any agency, anti-corruption agency that is good in asset tracing and asset recovery, is EACC. We are going for that to give that training. We'll run it. We are giving support to the DRC. We are giving support to Mozambique and Sierra Leone. So we are a reputable, respected organization, and somebody has said that he has given us the work and we are not performing. I have always argued that whoever thinks that corruption will be fully addressed by an agency, one agency, is very wrong. Corruption must be addressed in threefold. We must address our political culture. The previous chair said that if you don't have money, you cannot contest. It's subject to argument. It's subject to argument. It's just like this argument where people say.
Now conclude, please.
Yeah. It's just like this argument. People say poverty breeds crime. But kwa tukulamu kule watu maskini na hawaibi. So others will tell you it's the culture. It's not about poverty. So it's subject to argument. So what we are saying is that the issue of the issue of fighting corruption, we must address the political culture. It must be a clean political culture. Then we must have the public that is self-abhor corruption. There was a time in this country, people used to address policemen taking bribes. Now, here you find policemen all over with big stomachs, collecting bribes all over the places. And when you ask them, in that matatu that is giving bribe, there's a senior civil servant, there's a professor. Why can't they tell the driver, if you give this man bribe, we are going to report you? So we are talking of a collective approach in the fight against corruption. Then last bit is about the agencies and the executive. We need a well-equipped EACC, well-equipped police, well-equipped ODPP, a judiciary that is well-funded. Right now we have 9 cases of governors. We don't know when they are going to end. We have cases in anti-corruption that are as old as 15 years old. Before I left for Kenyan, cases were there. Up to now, I'm a CEO waiting for the next 1 year to go. Those cases have not been concluded. So let us not look at bashing at EACC. Let us reason in a very strategic way in how we can address this problem of corruption.
Thank you.
As much as I've talked about all other issues, to conclude, Governor, we agree with you. We are not against the governors, but I know you are one of those good governors in this country. And I have not said that all governors are bad. There are some governors, quite a number of them are good, but also we have some that are not very pleasant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, before you go, please, if you want this to be useful, delineate statutory mandates. Can you tell us what should be for EACC?
Through the chair, Senator. Because I just denied Amina a chance. Then you spoke,
my apologies.
And she's wondering why.
My apologies. I just wanted them to clarify how to.
That is corruption, you know.
I apologize, Chair, but my neighbor has given information. I just wanted you know, if you make this blanket statement, I agree there is duplicity of roles. Can you tell us what EACC should handle what DCI should handle, what ARA should handle.
Yeah, in their detailed memo. Yeah,
that it's useful.
let's leave it there. Thank you. I'm sure you've heard. And let's allow the former Auditor General to take the seat. Thank you very much, EACC. Tumeshukuru.
Chair, does it mean KNCHR did not come? No, there's a problem in that commission then. I used to be there. Imogen, KNCHR has not come.
Mr. Uko, welcome. You had the introductions. You won't repeat introductions, and we know you. Just go to the point. Yes, just proceed, please.
Thank you, chairs and members of this honorable committee. And I must say that I'm honored to appear before you, given that I'm actually a former. But being a former, then I can also speak freely and speak my mind. Now, I'll speak on electoral justice. I will speak on outstanding constitutional matters, mainly on issues which may touch on counties. And then I will speak on outstanding matters on what we call adequate checks and balances. And then I'll finish up with what